The whiskey burned going down, but Danielson barely noticed anymore. 5 years since the Battle of Titan's moon, and he still woke up drenching his sheets in sweat, remembering the way her ship had spun out of control, engines burning violet against the void. Nobody believed him. The official records listed him as a transport pilot who'd lost his cargo during equipment malfunction. His testimony about saving an alien warship's commander, about the way she'd looked at him through her cockpit window, her silver eyes filled with something that transcended species, had been dismissed as combat-induced psychosis. Now he fixed navigation systems for cargo haulers in New Seattle, living in a shoebox apartment above a noodle shop. His medals sat in a drawer, tarnished and forgotten. The package arrived on a Tuesday. Daniel found it outside his door. A smooth black cube that hummed with an energy that made his teeth ache. No shipping label. No return address. When his fingers brushed the surface, it bloomed open like a flower, revealing a crystal that pulsed with the same violet light he'd seen in her dying engines. He dropped it, heart hammering. The crystal hovered in midair, projecting symbols he recognized from that day. The writing on her hull before he towed her damaged ship through the debris field to safety, ignoring orders to retreat. "Impossible," he whispered. His phone died. The lights flickered. Then came the knock. 3 precise raps that somehow felt wrong, like the person on the other side didn't quite understand human customs. Daniel opened the door. She stood there in flawless human form, but he recognized her immediately. The same silver eyes, now set in a face that could have belonged to a fashion model. Long dark hair, bronze skin, and a body wrapped in a black dress that seemed to absorb light. But it was her presence that gave her away. That same otherworldly authority that had radiated from her even as her ship burned. "Hello, Daniel." Her voice carried harmonics no human throat could produce. "I'm sorry it took so long. You're real. This is real." A smile played at her lips. "You saved my life when you had every reason to abandon me. When your own people ordered you to leave me to die." She stepped closer, and he caught her scent. Ozone and something sweet like alien flowers. "My name is Calith then. I am the 7th queen of the Valoran sovereignty. And I'm here because everything you knew about that battle was a lie." Behind her, 3 black vehicles materialized out of nothing, their engines silent. "They're coming for you, Daniel. The ones who wanted me dead. They know I've returned, and they know what you mean to me." Her hand touched his chest, right over his racing heart. "I need your help. But more than that," her eyes held his. "I owe you a debt that can reshape worlds." "Who's coming?" "Everyone," she said simply. "Get your things. Your old life ends tonight." Daniel's apartment exploded 3 minutes after they left. He watched from Calith's vehicle. Calling it a car felt absurd when it phased through matter and flew without visible propulsion. As his building erupted in blue fire that consumed only his unit, leaving the rest of the structure untouched. "Precision strike," Calith said calmly, her fingers dancing over controls that appeared as light in the air. "Telian Directorate Hunters. They've tracked my energy signature to you." "Why?" Daniel's hands shook. "Why come to me if it puts me in danger?" She turned those impossible silver eyes on him. "Because you're already in danger. You have been since the moment you saved me. They just hadn't found you yet." Her hand covered his, warm despite her otherworldly nature. "The battle you remember, it wasn't a random skirmish. It was an assassination attempt. The vehicle dove into an underground tunnel that shouldn't have existed beneath New Seattle. Bioluminescent lights flickered past, illuminating alien architecture hidden beneath human civilization. My people have been here longer than yours, Calith explained. Watching, waiting. There are factions who believe humans aren't ready for contact. Others who see Earth as a resource to exploit. She guided the vehicle into a massive chamber filled with technology that made Daniel's engineer mind real. And then there's what I believe, which is that humanity deserves a choice. She led him through corridors of living metal to a chamber that responded to her presence, walls blooming with displays showing star maps, battle formations, and faces, both human and decidedly not. You didn't just save a queen that day, Daniel. You saved the only leader willing to grant Earth sovereignty. My political enemies, both alien and the humans who serve them, want me dead. With me gone, Earth becomes a colony world within a decade. Daniel sank into a chair that molded itself to his body. This is insane. I'm nobody, a disgraced pilot who fixes GPS systems. You're the man who flew through a debris field that would have shredded any other pilot, who jury-rigged a tow cable from cargo straps and emergency beacons, who stayed on open comms talking me through my panic when my crew was dead and my ship was dying. Caliph knelt before him, her hands on his knees. I've been preparing for 5 years, Daniel, building alliances, gathering evidence of the conspiracy. But I need someone I can trust absolutely. Someone who's already proven they'll choose right over easy. Her face was inches from his now, close enough that he could see tiny fractal patterns in her irises, like galaxies spiraling. The crystal I sent you, it's bonded to your DNA now. It's already rewriting parts of your genetic code, making you stronger faster, giving you access to technology that will make you more than human. Her breath ghosted across his lips. But I won't go further without your consent. This path will cost you everything familiar. Your old life. Your humanity, eventually. But you'll help save your entire species. And if I say no, then I erase your memories of this, give you a new identity somewhere safe, and find another way. Her thumb traced his jawline. But I really hope you say yes, Daniel, because I've thought about you every day for 5 years. About the man brave enough to save someone he didn't know, expecting nothing in return. Daniel's hand rose, catching hers against his face. Show me, he whispered. Show me what you're offering. Calitha's smile could have lit stars. She pressed her forehead to his, and suddenly he could see it. Feel it. The vast network of alien civilizations. Earth's true place in the cosmos. The war coming, whether humanity knew it or not, and wound through it all, glowing like a thread of light. Her memory of him. How she'd watched him through the viewport as he worked. This human who wouldn't abandon her. How she'd learned everything about him afterward. How she'd dreamed of this moment when she could finally return and offer him the universe. I'm in, Daniel said. Whatever this takes. Then let's begin. The process took 3 days, and Daniel spent most of it screaming. Caliph never left his side. The chamber she'd brought him to, a medical bay far beneath the Earth's surface, filled with amber light as the crystal's energy rewrote him at the cellular level. He felt his DNA unzipping, reweaving, incorporating structures that had never existed in any human. I'm sorry, Caliph whispered during the worst of it, her cool hand on his burning forehead. I know it hurts. The Valoran physiology is fighting your human baseline. It wants to consume you, but I'm not letting it. You'll be something new, something stronger than either species alone. When the pain finally crested and broke, Daniel opened eyes that now saw in spectrums he'd never imagined. Calitha's true form flickered beneath her human disguise, an echo of something magnificent, vast, and terrifying. All around them, the walls sang with data he could suddenly interpret. How do you feel? She asked softly. He sat up, and it was like moving through water. Everything seemed slow, deliberate. His body hummed with power, like I could tear this room apart with my bare hands. You probably could. She helped him stand, and he realized he was several inches taller now, his frame broader. His reflection in the polished wall showed a stranger, sharper features, eyes that held flecks of violet. The transformation is faster than I anticipated. Your species is remarkably adaptable. What am I now? Someone who can stand at my side. As a partner, not a subordinate. Kalitha's hand trailed down his chest, and he felt the heat of her touch through his new skin. The bonding process has created a link between us. I can feel your emotions, sense when you're in danger, and you'll develop the same awareness of me. Daniel caught her hand, pulling her closer. Is that why I can feel how much you want this? How much you've wanted me since that day? Her silver eyes flared. The bonding doesn't create feelings, Daniel. It only reveals what's already there. He kissed her then, and it was like touching lightning. Her human form dissolved slightly at the contact, revealing glimpses of her true nature. Something of pure energy and while wearing flesh as a courtesy. She gasped against his mouth, her hands fisting in his shirt. My quarters, she breathed. Now, the room shifted around them, her technology responding to her desire. They materialized in a chamber of impossible geometry, where walls flowed like water and the ceiling showed stars that existed light years away. Kalitha's dress dissolved into light, revealing skin that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns. Daniel's enhanced vision traced them, recognizing them as writing, the story of her lineage, her victories, her losses. His hands followed the glowing lines across her shoulders, down her back. For 5 years I've imagined this, she confessed, her voice rough with need. Wondering if you felt the connection too. If you saw me as more than just some alien you saved. I dreamed about you, Daniel admitted, pulling her against him. Even when I thought I was going crazy, I couldn't forget you. She kissed him deeply, and he felt their minds touching through the bond. Images flashed, her memories of him, his memories of her, intertwining until he couldn't tell where one ended and the other began. He felt her loneliness, the weight of being queen to billions while trusting no one. She felt his exile, his quiet desperation, his secret hope that she'd been real. Their lovemaking was both tender and explosive, a merging of not just bodies but souls bonded by alien technology and genuine emotion. She taught him how to touch her properly, showing him nerve clusters humans didn't have, erogenous zones that responded to pressure in alien ways. He discovered that making her lose control brought him satisfaction deeper than any physical pleasure. Afterward, they lay intertwined in sheets that adjusted temperature to comfort both their biologies. Kalith traced the new patterns emerging on Daniel's skin, his body expressing its own story now, marking him as something unique in the universe. Tomorrow, we begin the real work, she murmured. There are people you need to meet, alliances to forge, and enemies who will do anything to stop us. Daniel pulled her closer. Tell me about the conspiracy. All of it. She did, and with each revelation, the weight of what they faced grew heavier, and his resolve grew stronger. The hologram showed Earth surrounded by vessels, invisible to human detection. Dozens of them, from at least 6 different alien civilizations. This is current surveillance, Kalith explained, her hand moving through the projection. They stood in her command center, surrounded by her inner circle. 3 Valorans who'd been loyal through the assassination attempt, and 2 humans who'd already been recruited. What humanity sees as satellites are monitoring stations. Some are ours, protecting you. Others belong to the Telian Directorate, cataloging resources and strategic locations. A woman with steel-gray hair and military bearings stepped forward. Daniel Chun. I'm Helen Vasca. I was the admiral who ordered you to abandon the Queen's ship. Her jaw tightened. It's taken 5 years and overwhelming evidence to understand I was wrong. That I was being manipulated by the Directorate through our own chain of command. Daniel's enhanced perception picked up her shame, her anger at herself. They compromised Earth's military? All major governments have been infiltrated, Helen said. Not many people, but key positions. The Directorate has been preparing Earth for absorption for decades. When the Queen dies, her eyes cut to Caliph, which was supposed to happen 5 years ago. Earth will have no allies, no voice in the coalition that decides our fate. Caliph pulled up another image, a being of crystalline geometry that hurt to look at directly. This is Praetor Vexthar, leader of the Telian Directorate. He's been orchestrating humanity's subjugation while simultaneously trying to assassinate me. Her voice hardened. What we discovered 3 months ago is that he's not working alone. There's a human partner, someone in a position of ultimate power who sold out their entire species for promises of immortality and dominion over Earth after the integration. Who? Daniel demanded. We don't know yet. That's what we need to find out. Caliph gestured, and the hologram shifted to show a gala event. In 3 days there's a summit, the World Economic Convergence in Geneva. Every major world leader will attend, and according to our intelligence, Vexthar will be there in human form, meeting with his collaborator. One of the Valorans, a warrior woman named Kiris, spoke up, her voice layered with harmonics. Our plan is infiltration. The Queen will attend as a human dignitary, representing the Valoran sovereignty's interest in Earth trade. Daniel will accompany her as her partner. We've created an identity that will pass any background check. Partner, Daniel repeated, looking at Caliph. She met his eyes steadily. Romantic partner. It gives you access and explains why you're constantly at my side. It also sends a message to Vexthar that I've chosen a human, that I'm serious about the alliance. Helen pulled up dossiers. We've identified 12 high-probability targets. World leaders, tech billionaires, military commanders. One of them is the traitor. Your job is to get close, use your new abilities to read them, and identify which one. And then we expose them, Caliph said. Both to humanity and to the Galactic Coalition. Proof that the Directorate has violated first contact protocols will get them censured. Their claim on Earth invalidated. With me alive and advocating, Earth gets to choose its own path. The briefing continued for hours. Daniel absorbed everything, his enhanced mind processing tactical scenarios, political implications, and technological details simultaneously. But underneath it all, he felt Caliph's presence through their bond. Her determination, her fear, her hope. That night, alone in their quarters, she showed him the scars from the assassination attempt. Not physical ones. Her body had healed. But psychic wounds, memories she carried. Her crew's death. The moment she'd realized her own government had betrayed her. The loneliness of knowing she could trust almost no one. Why tell me this? Daniel asked, holding her close. Because you need to understand what we're fighting, what you've become part of. She looked up at him, vulnerability naked in her eyes. And because I need you to know that what's between us, this bond, it's real. Not just a tactical advantage or a political statement. I care about you, Daniel, more than is probably wise for a queen to care about anyone. He kissed her forehead. Good, because I'm in love with an alien queen, and that's definitely not wise for a disgraced pilot who used to fix NAV systems. She laughed, and the sound was beautiful. Then we're perfectly matched in our foolishness. They made love again, slower this time, exploring the connection between them. Through the bond, Daniel felt what she felt. The pleasure, the emotion, the deep satisfaction of finally being truly intimate with someone after years of isolation. And she felt his wonder, his determination to protect her, his growing understanding of the vast responsibility she carried. Geneva, she whispered against his chest. We expose the conspiracy. We save Earth. And then we figure out what comes next. Together. Geneva glittered beneath them as their craft descended. Daniel adjusted his tuxedo, feeling ridiculous and powerful in equal measure. His enhanced senses picked up the electromagnetic signatures of hidden weapons, surveillance systems, and at least 4 other vessels cloaked in orbit. Alien ships watching the proceedings. Calith was breathtaking in a gown that seemed to shimmer between states of matter. To human eyes, she was an impossibly beautiful woman. To Daniel's enhanced perception, she was a barely contained supernova wearing flesh. "Nervous?" she asked, taking his hand. "Terrified," he admitted. "What if I can't read them? What if?" She silenced him with a kiss. "Trust yourself. Trust us. You were chosen for this because you're extraordinary, Daniel. You always were." The summit was a circus of power and privilege. World leaders mingled with corporate titans. And scattered among them, Daniel spotted others like Calith. Aliens wearing human faces, their true nature visible only to his enhanced perception. Then he felt it, a presence that made his new instincts scream. Across the room, talking to the Chinese premier, stood a man in an impeccable suit. To everyone else, just another dignitary. But Daniel saw the crystalline structure beneath, the geometry that matched the images of Vexthar. 10 o'clock, he murmured to Calith. "That's him." Her hand tightened on his arm. "I see him. Now we wait. See who he meets." The evening crawled past. Daniel and Calith played their roles perfectly. The enigmatic alien queen and her human lover, fascinated by Earth culture. They danced, and Daniel felt every eye in the room on them. But his attention never left Vexthar. Finally, movement. The directorate leader excused himself, heading toward a private terrace. Minutes later, a figure followed, a woman Daniel recognized from the dossiers. "No," he breathed. "Not her." President Elena Morrison, leader of the Western Coalition, stepped onto the terrace. Daniel and Calith moved closer, using technology that let them hear through walls. "The Queen lives," Morrison said, her voice tight. "You promised she'd be eliminated. A temporary setback." Vexthar's voice was like grinding crystals. "The transformation of Earth proceeds regardless. When the integration occurs, you'll have your reward. Billions of people will lose their freedom. They'll have order, purpose, and you'll rule them in my name." A pause. "Unless you're developing conscience now, Madam President?" Morrison's laugh was bitter. "Too late for that. I just want assurances." The Queen's bonded with a human. That was never part of the plan. A desperate gambit. It changes nothing. Daniel felt Calith's rage through their bond. But she controlled it, pulling out a device that recorded everything. Evidence. Proof. They waited until the conversation ended, until Morrison returned inside. Then Calith stepped onto the terrace, and Daniel followed. Vexthar turned, his human disguise slipping for just a moment. "Queen Calith, how brazen to come here. How treasonous," she countered. "To violate coalition protocols. To manipulate a protected world. To attempt regicide. You have no proof." She held up the recording device. "I have everything. Your conspiracy is over, Praetor." For a moment, Daniel thought Vexthar might attack. Then the alien laughed. "You'll expose Morrison? Cause chaos on Earth? While humans fight among themselves. The integration will happen anyway. You've changed nothing." "I've changed everything," Calith said. "I've given Earth a champion. Someone who understands both worlds now. Someone who will help humanity navigate the stars as equals, not subjects." She meant him. Daniel felt the weight of it, the responsibility and the honor. Vexthar's eyes fixed on Daniel, the transformed human. "How noble!" His voice dripped contempt. "You've made him a target, Queen. Everyone opposed to Earth's sovereignty will hunt him now." "Let them try," Daniel said, stepping forward. "I saved her once. I'll do it again. And I'll save my world too." The confrontation ended when coalition ships decloaked above Geneva, summoned by Calith's signal. Within hours, Vexthar was in custody, Morrison's treachery exposed. The summit descended into chaos, but it was the chaos of truth, not deception. Later, as dawn broke over Geneva, Daniel and Calith stood on their balcony, watching the world wake up to its new reality. "It's just beginning," she said softly. "The coalition will debate Earth's status for years. There will be factions that oppose us, dangers we haven't imagined." "I know." Daniel wrapped his arms around her from behind. "But we're together, and I'm not just some pilot anymore." She turned in his embrace, her eyes searching his. "What are you, Daniel Chun?" "I'm yours," he said simply. "Your partner, your champion, the man who will stand at your side while we reshape the universe." She kissed him as the sun rose, and through their bond, they both felt it, the future spreading before them, dangerous and magnificent. Earth would join the stars. Humanity would evolve. And at the center of it all, a queen and the pilot she'd chosen would write a new chapter in galactic history. Together, they would change everything.